Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
In October 2025, a very important meeting happened in Southeast Asia. President Donald Trump was there. He announced big new trade agreements with Vietnam and Malaysia. These deals were called historic by the White House. This marks a major change in America's focus towards the Asian region. The meetings happened from October 25th to 27th in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. During this time, the Trump administration also made new plans with Cambodia and Thailand. These announcements came during a big regional summit, where a peace agreement was also signed between Thailand and Cambodia. These new agreements are very important. Southeast Asia is a region where the United States and China both want more influence. These deals are a key part of the growing competition between the two powerful nations. America wants to secure important resources, like specific minerals for technology. It also aims to diversify computer chip production, reducing reliance on China. By signing these agreements, America wants to show it is a strong and active partner in Asia. China's economic and political power has grown in this region for many decades. These deals will shape the future of trade and power in the world. They also raise questions about President Trump's approach and if these agreements truly benefit all countries involved. 2. The new deals. The new trade agreements started with Malaysia. President Donald Trump and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim signed a major trade deal. Most goods from Malaysia coming into the United States would have a 19% tax. This tax works both ways. However, many Malaysian products would have zero tax. These zero tax items include rubber goods, cocoa products, some medicines, palm oil, and parts for airplanes. This was good news for many businesses, affecting about 1 in 10 of Malaysia's exports to the U.S. Malaysia made important promises too. It agreed to give American industrial goods like chemicals, machines, and metals easier access to its markets. It would also buy American farm products such as dairy, poultry, and rice. Malaysia also promised not to stop or limit selling important minerals, especially rare earth elements, to the United States. These minerals are needed for new technology and defense. Malaysia has a lot of these rare earth elements, with reserves worth about $1 trillion. The country also said it would work with American companies to find and process these minerals faster, giving them longer licenses to operate. Malaysia also made big buying plans. It agreed to buy 30 Boeing airplanes, and maybe 30 more later. It will buy a lot of natural gas from the U.S. every year, worth up to $3.4 billion. Other purchases include American coal, telecom products, and a huge amount, $150 billion, in computer chips and airplane parts. Malaysia will also invest $70 billion in the United States over the next 10 years. Next, a new plan came for Vietnam. This was not a final deal, but a framework, like a plan for a deal to be finished later. The United States kept a 20% tax on goods from Vietnam, but this was much lower than the 46% that was first suggested. Some Vietnamese products will also get zero tax. Vietnam agreed to let American cars meet U.S. safety rules. It also promised to make it easier for American medical goods and medicines to be sold in Vietnam. Both countries will work together on stopping illegal trade, ensuring supply chains are clear. Smaller deals were also made. Cambodia signed a trade agreement, keeping a 19% tax on its goods. As a part of this, the United States removed an old arms ban on Cambodia. The U.S. also agreed to restart military training with Cambodia, which stopped years ago in 2017. Thailand also got a trade plan, like Vietnam's. Thailand promised to buy 80 American airplanes, a deal worth $18.8 billion. Both Thailand and Malaysia also signed agreements on important minerals to secure and diversify supply chains. These deals show America's new focus on building strong trade and security ties in Southeast Asia. 3. More than just money. These new trade agreements are important for reasons bigger than just buying and selling goods. They show a change in America's focus. The deals help the United States get important materials, like rare earth minerals and computer chips. These are vital for today's technology and for a country's defense. Rare earth minerals are special metals. There are 17 types. They are not truly rare, but they are hard to get and process. These minerals are needed for many modern products. Think about your smartphone, electric cars, and wind turbines. They are also essential for advanced military tools like F-35 fighter jets, Tomahawk missiles, and radar systems. Without a steady supply of these minerals, a country cannot make or use these important technologies. For America, this is about keeping its military strong and its technology growing. China currently has a very strong hold on the world's supply of these minerals. They control about 60% of the production. More importantly, China processes nearly 90% of all rare earth elements. This means that many countries, including the United States, depend heavily on China for these key materials. From 2020 to 2023, America bought 70% of its rare earth compounds from China. This reliance creates a risk. If China decides to limit these exports, it could harm America's ability to make important goods and defense tools. To solve this problem, the United States plans to work closely with Malaysia. Malaysia has large amounts of rare earth minerals, estimated to be over 16 million tons. The new trade agreement with Malaysia includes a promise. Malaysia will not put bans or limits on sending these critical minerals to the United States. It will also work with American companies to find and develop its rare earth sector faster. This partnership helps America find new, safe sources and reduces its dependence on China. Another vital part of these deals is computer chips, known as semiconductors. These small chips power almost every electronic device. Today, most advanced computer chips are made in East Asia, largely by one company in Taiwan. This concentration creates a big risk. If something were to happen in Taiwan, the world could face a severe shortage of chips. This would affect industries globally. The agreement with Malaysia addresses this by including a massive commitment. Malaysia will purchase $150 billion in American semiconductors, aerospace parts, and data center equipment. This helps America's own chip industry and creates more stable supply lines. By working with countries like Malaysia, the United States aims to spread out where its chips come from. This way, America will be less dependent on any single country, making its technology and defense more secure for the future. 4. Trump's way to trade. President Donald Trump has a clear way of thinking about trade. He believes that for a long time, other countries did not treat America fairly when they bought and sold goods. He felt that other nations took advantage of America's open markets without giving the same access to American products. His main tool to change this situation is using high taxes on goods that come into the United States. These taxes are known as tariffs. The idea behind these tariffs is to create strong pressure on other countries. When a country exports its products to America, and America puts a high tax on them, those foreign products become more expensive for American buyers. This higher cost can make people buy less from that country. President Trump's main goal is to make these countries agree to new trade deals that he believes are more fair and balanced for the United States. He wants agreements that truly benefit American companies and workers, ensuring they have better access to foreign markets and compete fairly. This way of trading has caused a lot of discussion and different opinions among experts and the public. Some people believe that using tariffs is a very good idea. They say it helps protect jobs in America, as it makes foreign products less attractive because they cost more. This could encourage American companies to make more goods at home, keeping money and work within the country. Supporters also believe it helps American businesses compete on an even playing field with companies from other nations. However, many other people do not agree with this approach. They argue that tariffs actually hurt American families and businesses in different ways. When taxes are put on imported goods, it means these goods cost more for American stores to buy, and then they sell them at higher prices to the people who buy them. This can make everyday products, from clothes to electronics, more expensive for everyone. Opponents also say that tariffs can make trade between countries harder and slower, sometimes leading to trade wars, where other nations also put taxes on American goods. President Trump's method is also different because he likes to make deals directly with one country at a time. This is known as a bilateral approach. For many decades, the United States often worked with many countries together in multilateral agreements, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which he withdrew from. Trump's way moves away from this older style, focusing instead on specific one-on-one agreements with individual nations to get what he sees as the best results for America. He used this method to get many commitments from countries like Malaysia and Vietnam, often by threatening even higher tariffs if deals were not reached. This shows his strong belief in using trade as a powerful tool to achieve his country's goals and reshape global commerce. 5. A look at the past. The United States and Vietnam have a long and special history. For many years, they were at war. American soldiers first went to help France in Vietnam in the 1950s. The war became much bigger in 1965. It ended for American forces in 1973 and completely in 1975. Many people died on both sides. After the war, the U.S. placed a trade ban on Vietnam. But over time, things changed. In 1995, President Bill Clinton announced that the two countries would be friends again. This was called normalization. Since then, their relationship has grown strong. They signed a big trade deal in 2000. Later, in 2013, President Barack Obama created a comprehensive partnership. Most recently, in 2023, President Joe Biden and Vietnam's General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong made it a comprehensive strategic partnership. Today, they work together on trade, technology, and security. The relationship between the United States and Malaysia has been quieter, but also grew strong over many years. The U.S. recognized Malaysia as an independent country in 1957. In the 1960s, America helped Malaysia with its economy, encouraging new crops and industries like electronics. Even with some difficult times, the U.S. always stayed one of Malaysia's most important trading partners. In 2014, President Barack Obama visited Malaysia, making their ties a comprehensive partnership. In October 2025, during the ASEAN Summit, their relationship became a comprehensive strategic partnership. This shows how important Malaysia is to the U.S. They share strong trade links and also talk about big challenges in the region. A recent event involved Thailand and Cambodia, who had a border conflict. This dispute had old roots. In May 2025, the problem became serious, and in July 2025, heavy fighting broke out. Many people died, and hundreds of thousands had to leave their homes near the border. President Donald Trump decided to get involved. He used trade as a tool to help stop the fighting. He warned both countries that the U.S. would put very high taxes, called tariffs, on their products if the conflict continued. The Malaysian Prime Minister also helped to find a solution. Because of these efforts, a ceasefire was agreed in July 2025. Then, in October 2025, the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accords were signed. President Trump was there to see this happen. He said that making peace between Thailand and Cambodia was something many people thought was impossible. This shows how trade threats can sometimes lead to peace. 6. The big fight with China. The competition between the United States and China is like a big background for everything happening in Southeast Asia. It shapes how countries in the region make their choices. China is a very important country for all of Southeast Asia. It is the biggest partner for buying and selling goods with countries that are part of ASEAN. China also invests a lot of money in building roads, ports, and other big projects in these nations. Because of this, many countries in the region have strong ties to China for their economic growth. However, these Southeast Asian nations also want to have good relationships with the United States. They find themselves needing to balance their friendships with both big powers. They do not want to choose only one side. Instead, they try to maintain good relations with both America and China, a strategy sometimes called hedging. This means they keep their options open and do not rely too much on any one country. Vietnam is a good example of this difficult position. It sends many of its products, like electronics and clothes, to the United States. This makes America Vietnam's biggest customer. But Vietnam also buys many things, like parts for factories and machines, from China. So Vietnam needs both the U.S. and China for its economy to work well. It must be very careful not to upset either country, walking a fine line between the two giants. President Donald Trump's new trade agreements are a way for the United States to show it can be a better partner. America wants to give these nations more choices. The U.S. wants to help them get important materials, like rare earth minerals, from places other than China. For example, the deals with Malaysia aim to develop new sources for these minerals, which are key for modern technology. The United States also wants to help make computer chips in more places. This is to ensure that the world does not depend too much on one country for these vital parts. By working with countries like Malaysia on semiconductors, America hopes to make supply chains safer and more reliable. The U.S. wants to be a strong presence in the region, not just for trade, but also for security. It aims to offer stable and lasting friendships. These new deals are a clear message. America wants to compete with China for influence and show that it can offer valuable economic and strategic benefits to Southeast Asian countries. The goal is to build a future where these nations have strong options and greater independence in a complex world. 7. Some hard questions. The new trade deals made by President Donald Trump in October 2025 looked good on paper. But many people started to ask hard questions about them. Will these deals really fix America's trade problems, or will they bring new issues? One big question was about America's trade deficit. This is when a country buys more goods from other countries than it sells. President Trump has often said that this deficit is bad and means other countries are unfair. He believes his new deals will make the deficit smaller. However, many experts say trade deficits are very complex. They are not just about taxes on goods. Things like how much people save or spend and how much money is invested in a country also play a big part. So, changing trade taxes might not fix the deficit as much as some hope. Another concern was about the high taxes or tariffs that America put on goods from countries like Malaysia and Vietnam. Even after the New Deals, tariffs of about 19 to 20% remained on many products. These tariffs mean that American businesses importing these goods have to pay more. In the end, these higher costs are usually passed on to American consumers. This means people in America pay more for things like electronics or clothes from Southeast Asia. Groups like the Cato Institute say that tariffs are like a tax on American buyers, making things more expensive for everyone. The Congressional Budget Office even said that these high tariffs could make America's economy grow slower. People also doubted if the big promises of purchases would actually happen. Malaysia, for example, said it would buy many American semiconductors, equipment, and airplanes, billions of dollars worth of goods. But these are very large amounts. It is unclear when and how these purchases will be paid for. In the past, similar big promises from other countries did not always fully come true. Sometimes these large numbers are more about showing a strong partnership than about actual firm orders. For Malaysia to buy so many planes or semiconductor parts, it would need a huge increase in its own production and a lot of money and workers. Lastly, there was a worry about how these separate deals might affect the unity of Southeast Asian nations. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, tries to work together as one group. But President Trump made separate deals with each country: Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. Each country got different things. Malaysia got a special partnership. Cambodia got its arms ban lifted. And Vietnam got a framework that needed more talks. This different treatment could make some ASEAN countries compete against each other instead of working together. It might make the group less strong and united. This could let bigger countries have more influence in the region. The New Deals raised important questions about their true benefits and risks for both America and the Southeast Asian region. 8. The future of Asia. The trade deals made in October 2025 were a very important moment for Asia. President Donald Trump's push for new agreements with countries like Malaysia and Vietnam showed America's strong interest in the region. These deals aimed to do more than just improve trade. They were about getting important rare minerals, which are key for new technology. They also aimed to make sure America could get computer chips from different places, reducing reliance on just a few countries. This was a bold step to change how America works with Asia. However, these big plans face many challenges. It is not always easy to make such complex deals work in the long run. For example, some people wonder if all the large purchases of American products, like airplanes and semiconductors, will really happen as planned. There are also questions about the high tariffs or taxes on some imported goods. While these tariffs are meant to help America, some argue they can make products more expensive for American buyers. Also, countries in Southeast Asia must carefully balance their friendships and trade with both the United States and China, which is a difficult task. The future success of these deals relies a lot on America's actions. The United States needs to show a lasting commitment to these partnerships. In the past, America's focus on Asia has sometimes changed. For these deals to truly reshape the region, America must stay involved and support the plans for many years. This steady commitment is key to making sure the agreements bring real and long-term benefits. These agreements have started a new chapter in how America acts in Asia. They clearly show that the United States wants to be a strong partner in the region. However, the future of Asia is still full of unknowns. Countries are caught between the strong influences of the United States and China. They must work to keep their own choices and power in this changing world. It is not clear if these deals will lead to more peace and money, or if new problems will arise. What do you think will be the biggest challenge for Southeast Asian countries as they work with both the United States and China in the coming years?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.